She did speed. Look at the speed walk. Watch the speed walk. Ooh.
Yeah, that is no accident. She sped up.
I really think they shouldn't have any hatred towards young ladies that are doing well. I know they might be ruffling a few feathers because of the attention that they're getting. It's a good thing, Unc. Everybody gonna eat.
If I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told Skylar Diggins, get your coat, your brim, and leave.
Get on out of our gym. I like that. That's a good one.
Y'all mad because that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. She like a double-edged sword. She cutting ass left and right.
Yep.
Both sides cutting ass. Wop, 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 wop.
I would like the ladies to welcome her with open arms and what she brings to the table, what she's brought to the WNBA. I know Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese probably get most of the credit.
They do.
And all the news and headlines.
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I seen them against the Aces, and I saw the All-Star game. She is elite. She cooking. Let her cook.
Sharpe made it clear.
He can play.
Yeah, her and
It ain't hype. Y'all said the same thing about Larry Bird. Y'all said the same thing about Luka. It ain't hype. They can legitimately play.
He didn't stop there. Sharpe directly addressed certain ESPN personalities as saying,
There's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say earlier about this. They gone quiet now.
You say they quiet?
Y'all quiet now. The 2024 Paris women's basketball roster. No, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. I mean, rightfully so. I mean,
Let me ask you a question. Y'all want more money or not?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Are
y'all
y'all okay? If y'all okay with like 5 or 6 women making 200,000 and then everybody else making 75 or 100, or y'all trying to get to that $500,000? Or y'all trying to have women that make $1 million a year, and then the average, and then the lower salary rookies can make 100,000, 150,000? Are y'all okay with this? Because I just need to know what you really want.
Yeah.
I know all of y'all hadn't subscribed. Come on, hit that subscribe button. Help your unk out.
Caitlin Clark is a polarizing figure. People gravitate towards her. It's okay. Caitlin Clark's success doesn't diminish what Cheryl Swoops accomplished. Caitlin Clark's arrival doesn't diminish anything that they've done. I don't get this old guard. People wasn't phonetic. It wasn't buzzing. The WNBA, and people didn't talk about it like they do. Instead of being upset about it, I'm a ride the wave.
Ocho, 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season have been committed against Caitlin Clark.
Hey.
Ocho,
Yes, sir.
17% of the WNBA flagrant fouls have been committed against Clark. The Chicago Sky were responsible for 80% of the flagrant fouls committed against Clark.
At a time when Caitlin Clark shockingly has fans, ex, and current WNBA stars discrediting her talent, NFL legend Shannon Sharpe has been the Indiana Fever's fiercest defender in the media, and unrelenting. He very recently had something to say to the WNBA, so join me as I walk you through what Shannon Sharpe had to say to defend Caitlin Clark. Nothing but jealousy. 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls in the 2024 season have been committed against a rookie. They have all been committed against Caitlin Clark, with the Chicago Sky responsible for 80% of the flagrant fouls against the Indiana Fever's guard.
The Fever have really stretched out this one.
Now, we could argue that basketball is a physical game, but watching how teams and WNBA players mock and attack Caitlin Clark when she is with and without the ball, you just have to agree that it is nothing but jealousy. Caitlin's rookie season has been filled with cheap shots from WNBA players, legends, and even the media, which is shocking because according to these people, her talent that was already evident from college was not going to translate into the league. Well, Caitlin Clark has since silenced any doubters in the WNBA, and now these doubters seem to have turned into haters. Very recently, 6-time All-Star Skylar Diggins-Smith seems to have purposely crashed into her after the Fever beat the Storm. Now, the shove might look like nothing, even though Skylar Diggins did speed up to make contact with her, but it was unnecessary. And it has been the pattern so far this season where WNBA players and the media are seeing Caitlin as an easy target. In the words of the NFL legend Shannon Sharpe, if unnecessary roughness happened to one player 17% of the time, that is not an anomaly. That's not an outlier. I mean, how do you explain this?
And Clark. I mean, that's clear all which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Or this.
And all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44.
Or even this.
The foul, I believe, to Angel Reese. Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor to review this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Reese is being reviewed for possible upgrade to a flagrant.
I think it'll be upgraded here. The sole purpose of it hitting her head.
Unfortunately, she is not only getting attacked on the court, but off of it also. Caitlin Clark is having the best rookie season in WNBA history, and yet you have got a former WNBA head coach and ESPN analyst, Carolyn Peck, saying that she is undeserving of the Rookie of the Year award.
It's really tight, but when you look at where the teams are, and I also went a little deeper and I looked at plus minus, and I also look at net rating. And when you look at that, Angel Reese has to get the nod.
Or ESPN's Monica McNutt going on a rant about Caitlin Clark not deserving of the Rookie of the Year because her team wasn't in the playoffs and her impact has been insignificant. WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops, on the other hand, has also been unrepentant about her criticism of Caitlin Clark despite her historical stats, and she does not seem like she is stopping anytime soon. Well, in all of these cases, Shannon Sharpe has also been unrelenting in his defense of Caitlin Clark against the WNBA. The NFL legend has even gone as far as to call out a former WNBA coach and even his co-host. So who could this possibly be? Why would Shannon Sharpe go against just about anybody for Caitlin Clark? Shannon Sharpe has had enough.
There's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say earlier about this. They gone quiet now.
You say they quiet?
Y'all quiet now. Now I want somebody to send that to you because you know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna call your name, but you know who you are. Y'all had a lot to say early. Y'all had a lot to say early. And if you think I'm talking to you, I am. Make no mistake about it. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. One of you was a former coach. I get a little bit more specific. Some of you played the game. Now I want y'all to have that same thing when y'all were talking. Don't get mad now.
After getting snubbed from the Olympic team despite already putting up MVP level stats and performance, Caitlin returned from the extended Olympic break to lead the Indiana Fever to a 2024 playoff spot. Now, this team has not been to the playoffs since 2016 and hasn't had a winning season since 2015. So what Caitlin has done with this team is beyond impressive. But while this should be applauded, the maltreatment the 2024 first overall pick has been facing from other WNBA stars and legends of the game hasn't changed a bit. And now Shannon Sharpe has had enough of it. The NFL legend on his Nightcap podcast with Chad Johnson was the first to call out Skylar Diggins-Smith's cheap shot at Caitlin. They gotta stop this foolishness. Y'all see Skylar Diggins speed up to make contact with her. Stop this. Y'all mad cause that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. Y'all say she's too weak. She can't do this. She leads the WNBA in assists. She cooking. Let her cook. Let her cook, Sharpe said. Now, according to Sharpe, Caitlin has already proven that she is a generational talent and that these petty shots and fouls are just unnecessary. In his words, he believes this physical play against Clark is happening because she is busting their ass, and at some point she might decide to adopt a more physical style of play to counter the unfair hostility and jealousy from other players in the league. And should that happen, these WNBA stars would only have themselves to blame. And arrestingly, that wasn't the only rant the ESPN analyst had on his podcast. He also had words for WNBA fans, too. The ESPN analyst said he can have any opinion that he pleases, and he threw a subtle shot at the rest of the WNBA who thinks that he must hate Angel Reese just because he defends Caitlin Clark at every given opportunity.
Y'all, if you like Caitlin Clark, you gotta hate Angel. And if you love Angel, you can't say anything good about Caitlin Clark. Y'all can't tell me what the F.
He went on about how not even the old heads got the love and admiration that Michael Jordan or LeBron James got. So it isn't any different from the love and admiration Caitlin Clark gets from the world. Don't be resentful of it, embrace it, Sharpe said. Now, away from his show, even on ESPN First Take, Shannon Sharpe went ballistic on co-host Molly Karam after she tried backtracking that no one denied Caitlin being a generational talent. Shannon believes that we are witnessing an MVP-level performance from a rookie, and it can only get better from here on. And while this could come off wrong in a league which has A'ja Wilson, Nafisha Collier, and Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark seems to have held her own and cemented her status as a viable MVP candidate. But is Caitlin Clark a viable MVP candidate? Does the talent actually match the hype? Or is she stat padding her way to the top? MVP conversations.
You mentioned that a little earlier. This is the only team they haven't beat this season, which is warrants enough to play hard. Being able to finish out last a little bit is
Clark, step back, hits a three!
How many rookies have the confidence to shoot a logo 3 after going 0-6? Well, the rules don't apply for a generational talent like Caitlin Clark because she is playing like a veteran already in her first year. She is an excellent scorer, and while many know her as a great three-point scorer, her passing is amazing. Caitlin is crafty and great at finding her teammate, and what better proof that she is a great passer than the fact that this rookie just broke the WNBA record for most assists in a season. She already broke the record for most assists in a single game and assists by a rookie in their debut season that has been standing for 26 years, and she went ahead to break the record for most assists in a season, just being extraordinary. Now, the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft out of Iowa is averaging 19.1 points on 41.6% shooting and a league-high 8.4 assists while averaging 5.8 rebounds. She has lived up to every single hype and has continually wiped the floor with every single competition that she has faced in just her first year in the league. So far, so good. Caitlin Clark has played so well that the narrative has shifted from discussing her as an emerging star to the possibility of becoming the first player to win the Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player since Candace Parker did it in 2008. Well, without a doubt, her impact on the WNBA's growth is not unknown, with the increase in attendance being proved. But away from her impact on the WNBA's growth, the several records that she has also broken as a rookie are out of this world, and surely would make a solid case for being the league's MVP. However, in all of these, none make her a more viable candidate than her impact on a losing team like the Indiana Fever. Leading a losing team to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years as a rookie is an impressive feat, and should make her a viable candidate for the WNBA's MVP. Unfortunately, though, two-time MVP A'ja Wilson has been more dominant this season. The Aces center is averaging 27 points on 51.9% shooting, 12.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.9 steals, and 2.7 blocks per game. She also leads the league in points and blocks and is second overall in steals and rebounds. So, Clark winning the MVP is a long shot. However, that is not to say that Caitlin finishing in the top 5 in MVP voting isn't something to look forward to. The young rookie has been so good that she has turned some critics into fans, with one in particular even calling her a Hall of Famer already. A Hall of Famer already? Well, despite Shannon Sharpe's rant and continuous defense of Caitlin Clark from the WNBA, the NFL legend believes that it's hard to ignore a talent like Caitlin for long. And so far, one of her strongest critics to have come around is none other than Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. Reeve was the head coach of the United States women's basketball team for the 2024 Paris Olympics, which left Caitlin Clark off the roster, and has long been a harsh critic of Caitlin Clark, and has since taken multiple shots at her fans. But interestingly, it appears that the head coach has since come around, because Reeve is now complimenting Clark and considering her past hesitation regarding Clark's inclusion in the USA team. According to Reeve, Caitlin, she is a future Hall of Famer and has already had a huge impact on the game. The head coach, who has led the Lynx to 4 WNBA titles and has been named WNBA Coach of the Year 3 times, praised the rookie's ability to navigate the physicality of the WNBA so early and her three-point shooting. Reeve surprisingly wouldn't be the first to change their opinion about Caitlin after hating her. Lexi Brown has also had a change of tune, even claiming that she has locked up the Rookie of the Year award long before the Olympics and is rightfully up there in the MVP conversation. Now, for what it is worth, with the way that Caitlin's haters are turning into fans, Shannon Sharpe won't have to keep defending Caitlin from the WNBA. But nonetheless, Sharpe isn't the only one noticing what Caitlin is going through now in the WNBA, as some WNBA fans have also noticed, and according to a user, 17% flagrant is insane. Her haters can't hide from that number. That is embarrassing. Another user commented, ROTY discussion is over. It's been over, but this was for all the haters and deniers. Well, Shannon Sharpe and other Caitlyn fans can only hope the rest of her critics and deniers will soon turn to her fans. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then the next video on your screen is also worth your time.